Hello, welcome back. Let's take a look at the importance of plurals, and I have included 10 rules on the forming of the plural of nouns. It's important to understand how to spell the plurals of words, and this will help you to prevent making spelling errors. So let's review these 10 rules. And I've also included some examples for each rule to clarify the rule for you. The first rule that I would like to point out is that the plural of most nouns is formed simply by adding an S. Cat becomes cats, you just add the S. Boy, boys, and pencil, pencils. So simply add the S. The second rule for the plural of nouns would be nouns ending in S, SH, CH, X, and Z are formed by adding an ES. So if you look at a few of the examples that I've included, bush ends in SH, you add the ES. Dish, another word ending in SH, you add the ES. Church, you add the ES. Box is one that ends in an X, you add the ES to box. And buzz ends in the two Z's, you would add ES. So that's a second rule to remember. The third is nouns that end in Y. If you look at these examples, there are two explanations here. The first one, when a noun ends in a Y, preceded by a consonant, that means the consonant goes before the Y, preceded means before, the plural is formed by changing the Y to I and adding an ES. So keep that in mind. You change the Y to I and you add ES. So let's look at this example. Baby, you would drop the Y and you add IES. Baby would become babies. So following the same rule, candy, you drop the Y, you add IES. Story, you drop the Y, you add IES. And party, you drop the Y and add IES. So this is when the noun ends in a Y, like baby, but before the Y is a consonant. A B would be a consonant. The second part of this rule is when a noun ends in a Y, but it's preceded by a vowel, so there's a vowel before the Y, then the plural is formed by adding an S. Let's look at these examples that I've included. Monkey, it ends in the Y, but you see before the Y is a vowel. You just add the S. Blue jay ends in a Y. There's a vowel before the Y, so you just add the S. And turkey, you just add the S to turkeys. Next, let's move along. The fourth rule is, what do you do if a noun ends in an O? Well, a couple of rules here as well, and this will help you with your spelling. The plural of nouns ending in O, if they're preceded by a vowel, so if before the O is a vowel, then you just simply add the S. And you know your vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So looking at this again, you look at the word. If it ends in an O, and before the O there's a vowel, which is A, E, I, O, U, then you simply add the S. So rodeo ends in an O, there's a vowel before the O, so you just add an S. Radio is the same, ends in an O, there's a vowel, which is an I before the O, so you just take the word radio and you just add the S. But let's look at it a little further. The plural of most nouns end in O and are preceded by a consonant. So before the O, there's a consonant, which wouldn't be a vowel. It's formed by adding S. But for some nouns in this category, the plural is formed by adding ES. So sometimes the rule will change. And through practice, you might have to look it up to if you're not sure of what the rule is. But let's look. Piano ends in an O. It's pianos, S. Auto, autos with an S. Tomato, you would add the ES. Potato, ES. Hero, ES. Okay, moving along. The fifth rule. The plural of nouns that end in F or double F. So you have a noun that ends in either one F or two Fs. What do? Well, you simply add an S. So chief becomes chiefs. Puff, even though there's two Fs, you just simply add the S after. And staff, ending in an F, you just add the S for staffs. But let's moving along. The plural of some nouns which end in F or FE will be formed by changing the F or the FE to VE and adding an S. Again, please look at the examples that'll make it clear. You've got the word loaf, like he bought a loaf of bread. It ends in an F, so you drop the F and then you add V and then ES. Hoof, the hoof, you drop the F, you add V, the F becomes a V, and then ES. So all follows the same rule. Self ends in an F, you drop the F, you add the V, and then the ES. Knife, it ends in the FE, so it either ends in F or FE follows this rule. You take off the F or the FE in this case, you add a V, and then the ES. And the same rule follows for scarf. Ends in the F. So in place of the F, you put the V and then the plural, which would be ES. Okay, they all follow the same rule. And then the sixth rule is nouns that have irregular plurals. So there are quite a few words in the English language that don't follow the regular rules. There are always exceptions to the rules. Through practice and memory, you will get the hang of these and you will start to remember them. The plural of some nouns that have a foreign or origin, they have irregular plurals. And sometimes you have to check your dictionary to be sure of the correct spelling. So for example, the word antenna, the plural would be antennae. Crisis, it becomes crises. Datum becomes data. And if you have certain criterion for something, the plural would be criteria. They're all irregular and you just have to use them, remember them, and you might have to look them up in the dictionary if you're not sure. The seventh rule is that some plurals are formed by changing letters within a word. Let's take a look. Man becomes men. So you would just change the A to the E. These are irregular. Child becomes children. Foot, you take out the two O's, they become feet. And tooth becomes teeth. Again, they're just words you have to remember. You might have to look them up in the dictionary because they don't follow the usual rules. The eighth rule is plurals and singular forms are sometimes the same in the singular and the plural. Sheep remains sheep, cattle is cattle, and fish is fish. You just use the same word for singular as plural. The ninth rule, getting close to the end, there are 10 rules to look at. The ninth rule would be compound nouns, and let me explain what that is. A compound noun is a word that's made up of two. It's one noun that's comprised of two words. So a compound noun is written without a hyphen, and if a compound word is written without a hyphen, the plural is formed at the end of the word. Okay, that's a lot of wording. It's a little bit confusing. Let me explain. For example, the word cupful, like you're cooking or baking something and you have to have 2 cupfuls of flour. That's called a compound word because it's made up of 2, cup and full. So a compound noun is 2 words in one. So when you have a compound noun that's written without a hyphen, there's no hyphen, it becomes one word, The plural goes at the end. So cupful becomes cupfuls. Handful becomes handfuls. And passerby is a compound word because it's passer and by. The two words together, you simply add the S for passerbys. But when a compound noun includes a hyphen, and some compound nouns have hyphens, you add the S to the main part of the word, the last part of the word. So let's take a look. Sorry, not the last part, the main part of the word. Let me explain. Father-in-law, that's one of those words that's a compound word, but it's always hyphenated. The same with daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, commander-in-chief. They are compound words because they're made up of one, but these always have to have hyphens in them. So when a compound noun includes a hyphen, you put the plural on the most important part of the word. So in this case, it's your father-in-law. So you don't put father-in-laws. The S goes on the main word, which is fathers-in-law. There's one commander-in-chief or commanders. If there's more than one, they are the commanders-in-chief. And daughter-in-law, which is always hyphenated, becomes daughters-in-law. So you have more than one daughter-in-law. These are my daughters-in-law. Okay? So it goes on the main word. The last and final rule that I'd like to point out is, how do you pluralize names? Well, to make a name plural, you add either an S or an ES, depending on the ending of the word. So if the person's name is Bob Mars, and you're talking about all the Marses in the family, so you're looking at all the members of the family, you would add an ES, Marses. Barry Monks, and you're talking about the Monks family, it's actually the same as saying fox. Oh, sorry. Fox. The plural of fox is foxes because it ends in the X. So it's the same with the name of the family, the Monkses. They're part of the Monkses family. Mary Brent would be the Brents. So if you're looking at all of them, they become the Brents, the family, the Brents. And Ella Pinsent, you would just add the S and make it Pinsent. So I hope that you found this helpful. There are a lot of irregular nouns that are turned into plurals. You have to know some of these rules, refer back to them. You might have to rely on your dictionary periodically, or go online and look at the online dictionary to find the plurals. But these are the 10 main rules, which I think will help you if you follow the basics of each rule. Again, contact me if you would like more exercises, if you're not clear as to any of my rules with the explanations. Thank you so much. Bye.